November 2017, Christie's auction house in New York City. The room is a low hum of hushed voices and an almost tangible electric tension. On stage, under a spotlight, is a single painting, Salvator Mundi, the long-lost masterpiece attributed to Leonardo da Vinci. The bidding opens. 10 minutes? 15. The numbers fly upwards at a dizzying pace. 200 million, 300, 350, the gavel falls. Sold. The final price, including the buyer's premium, $450.3 million.
400 million is the bid for the Salvator Mundi. Price-wise out at 400 million. Leonardo Salvator Mundi selling here at Christie's. $400 million is the bid, and the piece is sold. Leonardo.
A single painting, nearly $500 million. The average person looks at this and sees one of two things, either an act of insanity or the ultimate act of art appreciation. But what if I told you that for the buyer, reportedly a Saudi prince, this purchase had almost nothing to do with insanity and very little to do with love? What if I told you this was a cold, calculated, and possibly the most brilliant financial move of his life? Today, we are cracking the code of the art world. We are exposing why billionaires are willing to spend 9-figure sums on a piece of canvas. And spoiler alert, it is not for art. It is for something far more important. It is an unregulated market, a perfect tax instrument, and perhaps the most sophisticated asset for storing and moving wealth ever devised by man. To understand why art is such a powerful tool, you must first understand what it is not. When you buy a stock, you are entering one of the most heavily regulated markets in the world. Every transaction is tracked. Every company must file public reports. Every move you make is governed by law. The art market is its polar opposite. It is essentially the last great unregulated market on the planet. There are no fundamentals. The price of a Picasso does not have a P/E ratio or an earnings per share. The price is exactly what two very rich people in one room decide it's worth. Prices are set by a small, closed loop of elite dealers, influential collectors, and the two giants, Christie's and Sotheby's. They control the supply, they manufacture the hype, and they essentially write the rules of the game. It is a world built on opacity and asymmetric information. Take Jean-Michel Basquiat. In the 1980s, he was selling his work out of a shopping cart for pocket change. In 2017, his untitled painting sold for $110.5 million. What changed? The canvas itself. The narrative changed. The market decided Basquiat was a genius, and once the market decides, his works transform from decoration into blue-chip assets. In the world of the 1%, there is blue-chip art. This is your Picasso, your Warhol, your Rothko, your Basquiat. These are the FAANG stocks of the art world. These are assets that history has shown almost never go down in value over the long term. And here is the first secret. Art is a non-correlated asset. This means that when the stock market tanks, art often holds steady or even rises. For a billionaire whose portfolio is already packed with stocks and real estate, art is the perfect insurance. It's a way to diversify their capital into something tangible, something that doesn't obey the panic on Wall Street. Gold serves the same function, you say? It does. But as we're about to see, gold loses to a painting on almost every other count. Imagine you're a billionaire and a political crisis is brewing in your home country, or you're facing the most expensive divorce in history, or sanctions are about to be levied against you. You need to move $100 million. Fast. What do? You can't just wire it from a bank account. The transaction will be flagged and frozen. You can't export a truckload of gold bars. It's physically difficult and legally impossible. But you can take your $100 million Picasso sketch, remove it from its frame, gently roll it into a simple tube, and place it in your carry-on luggage. And just like that, you've walked through customs with $100 million in your hand, and it looks like a poster. This is perhaps art's most critical function for the 1%. It is the most concentrated, anonymous, and portable form of wealth on Earth. In an age of total digitalization, where every bank transfer leaves a permanent record, the art world remains an analog paradise. Ownership records are often kept in private ledgers. Deals are done behind closed doors. It's a bearer asset. Whoever physically holds it owns it. In a world where financial privacy is dead, art is the last bastion of anonymity. You aren't just buying a painting, you are buying a level of financial freedom that no bank can offer. But what if you don't even want to risk moving your painting? What if you want to buy it and just make it disappear? Welcome to the greatest secret of the 1%, the Freeport. These are places 99.9% of the population has never even heard of. The most famous ones are in Geneva, Singapore, and Luxembourg. On the surface, they are simply high-tech storage facilities. In reality, they are economic black holes, a legal and tax-free paradise for the super rich. Here's how it works. A billionaire in New York buys a painting at a London auction for $50 million. The painting is immediately shipped via private jet, not to New York, but to, say, the Geneva Freeport. And here, the magic begins. Legally, as long as the painting is in the Freeport, it is considered in transit. It's not technically in any country, and that means you pay zero value-added tax on the purchase, which in the UK would have been 20% or $10 million. You pay zero US import tax. You pay nothing. The painting simply sits in a perfect climate-controlled Fort Knox level security vault. But it gets even better. 10 years pass. Your painting is now worth $80 million. You decide to sell. You find a buyer from Shanghai, and you sell it to him right there in a sterile viewing room inside the Freeport. The painting is simply moved from your vault to his vault. It never once left the building, and that means you pay zero capital gains tax on your $30 million profit. These Freeports are essentially physical, unregulated offshore bank accounts for tangible assets. It is estimated that the Geneva Freeport alone holds over $100 billion worth of art and other valuables. It is the physical cloud storage for the wealth of the 1%. So, we have the perfect financial instrument, portable and tax efficient. But all of this doesn't explain why you'd ever take it out of the Freeport. And here we come to the final, most human pillar, status. Buying a Bugatti just makes you rich. Buying the Salvator Mundi makes you historic. It places you in the same lineage as the kings, popes, and dynasties who owned it before you. It's not just a purchase, it's an entry ticket. When you become the owner of a major Picasso, you are immediately invited to join the board of trustees at the Museum of Modern Art or the Met. You begin to have private dinners with other titans, curators, and the most influential people on the planet. It opens doors that no lobbyist can. Owning art is not just about showing off wealth, it's about converting that wealth into cultural power and influence. And finally, it's the purchase of immortality. Your business may fail, your yacht may sink, your mansions will be torn down, but a masterpiece by Leonardo da Vinci will last forever, and in the history books next to his name will be your name. You become not just an owner, but a guardian. It is the ultimate form of legacy. So the next time you see in the news that another billionaire has spent $100 million on a painting, don't think they just love the color. They don't. They have just executed a genius level move in a game played only at their level. They didn't buy canvas and paint. They bought a financial instrument that is non-correlated to the market. They bought a portable anonymous vault. They bought a tax loophole the size of an airplane hangar. And they bought a ticket to the most exclusive club on earth. It is not insanity. It is the coldest, most calculated, and most sophisticated multi-level strategy available to the 1%. It's not art. It's the ultimate asset. What do you think is the real secret of the art world? The financial, the tax, or the status? Let us know in the comments. And for more secrets on how the 1% really operate, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.